over their decision to deduct 3 points from their tally in the World Cup qualifiers for fielding an ineligible player. Now, the story is that FIFA did that, I think, 2 days ago, and finally the South African Federation, SAFA, is saying, hey, they say that through a statement, reacting through a statement on the official website, the South African Football Association, SAFA, said they are disappointed by the way FIFA arrived at the decision using a one-man panel and didn't even allow them to present their case before effecting the point deduction. They made it clear that they'll be using the 10-day grace to appeal the decision in the coming days, terming it as injustice. They also tendered an apology to the people of South Africa. Well, South Africa, is this coconut head or what? What do you call it?
Well, I mean, for a nation who wants to go to the World Cup, who had the World Cup qualification just, in their hands, everything was working well for them until Osasu, found out about Tobeho Mokena, and it became a big deal. And the conversation, has continued. And eventually FIFA has given the sanction. I knew it was going to come. I was telling, was it Chris? I think Chris or OJ. I think sometime last week or 2 weeks ago that even if they finish the qualifiers, FIFA will give the sanction. If you recall what happened to us, was it in 2018?
Yeah.
Was it Algeria? Then. So I knew it was definitely eventually going to come, whether or not South Africa liked it or not. And this has opened the group. This has put South Africa just behind Benin Republic and 3 points above Nigeria with 2 games to spare. Meaning anything can happen. Anything can happen. There is also Rwanda, in that conversation, but Rwanda we'll keep Rwanda aside. But there's Rwanda in that conversation. So what they're trying to do is just try to save face, because now the South African football loving people will be asking, how exactly did you meet the Federation?
Very true.
I mean, we lashed them. And what we said as at then was, if not that we had qualified, what would have happened? If not that we had qualified, even with 1 game to spare, if I recall, what would have happened? Meaning, maybe, just maybe, it was going to be Algeria qualifying for the World Cup. But now South Africa is in this doldrum, and they have to fix it. How do they have to fix it? They have to pray that Benin Republic don't win the remaining 2 games with the number of goal matches that they have. They hope that Nigeria will beat Benin Republic for them on the final day of the qualifiers. They'll also be hoping, first and foremost, let's get our own job done. They play Zimbabwe, I think, and Rwanda also. In those 2 games, they have to win convincingly, because they also need a goal margin to topple South Africa. So it is now on South Africa to deliver. But they had the qualification just at they needed just, I think, a point or so. As at the time before this deduction, they needed just 4 points. Win the 1 more game, and of course, draw. And they are through to the 2026 World Cup. But now, Tony, even if they win the remaining 2 games, they'll be hoping that Benin Republic drops points, at least maximum points in 1 of the games. So,
well, it's a dicey situation. The group thrown open again, and permutations here and there. Who qualifies? Just 1 person will qualify from that group. You see how difficult it is, but it's still very open. Let's see what happens in the remaining 2 fixtures for these countries. All right, let's go to Morocco. There seems to be a problem there because with just a few months to the kickoff of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, a wave of discontent has erupted across the host nation as angry youths have taken to the streets to protest against the Moroccan government spending priorities. The demonstrators accuse the Moroccan government of neglecting the health and economic sectors while channeling excessive resources into the construction and renovation of sports facilities ahead of the Nations Cup. At a time when ordinary citizens are grappling with rising unemployment, inflation, and a struggling healthcare system. Now, they carried placards carried by the protesters, bore inscriptions such as "Hospitals before stadiums" and "Jobs, not luxury pitches." Leaders of the movement warned that if their demands are not addressed, they may attempt to disrupt the smooth hosting of the continental showpiece, the Nations Cup. The North African country has invested heavily in modernizing its sports infrastructure, not only for the AFCON 2025, but also in preparation for the 2030 FIFA World Cup, which Morocco will co-host alongside Spain and Portugal. While government officials argue that the project will boost tourism, attract foreign investment, and create long-term opportunities, the youths-led protests have highlighted growing tensions over national priorities in a country, balancing ambition on a global stage with pressing domestic needs. Sam, And
Why are you calling Sam? Am I from Morocco?
No, I wanted to ask. Now, this is happening in Morocco.
Yeah.
The youth, they are saying, hey, government, you guys are channeling so much money into sports. But other sectors, they made a case for the rising unemployment. They made a case for, a couple of other healthcare sector that they should channel such energy to that area. But then the government saying, we are doing this because it's going to boost tourism and all that, attract foreign investment. And this could just be the same case with Nigeria. We've seen that happen here. But Morocco is saying, the youth are saying, they've taken to the street and they've sent a warning that if you guys don't do this or look into other sectors, we might make the Nations Cup unbearable.
Well, first and foremost, it's a threat that must be listened to. Secondly, well, I hope that they, retract on that, because at the end of the day, you will not just put your country in jeopardy. You will put the continent of Africa in jeopardy. If we had over 1.2 billion with the festive season, we'll have almost 2 billion watching this AFCON in Morocco. So it's an opportunity to sell the country, but I understand where they're coming from. If they feel they do not have the amenities needed in the country, then why exactly are you spending resources, to build stadia across the country to host the Nations Cup? But that's just an afterthought, because when the nation was bidding to host, did they not remember then to say, listen, dear country, or dear president of the country, or dear His Royal Highness, oh, we do not have this and this and this and this facility in place. Can you, while you're bidding for the Nations Cup, please take a look at this? Because at the end of the day, Tony, it don't go past whether they want to drop Morocco or not.
The Nations Cup.
The Nations Cup is just 2 months away. So what exactly are you? I know they want to hold the country or the government of the day by the neck, by the scruff of the neck. But it's also going to be almost impossible now for the Moroccan government to say, okay, let's drop this, let's move to this, let's do this and let's do that. But hopefully they pay attention to the plight of this youth who are saying, yes, we understand you want to host the Nations Cup. We understand you're bringing Africans on our soil to host them here in Africa. But can you please do us a favor? Can you put this and this and these amenities in place so that after the Nations Cup, Tony, when we must have hosted Africa and they have left, we would also not die while looking for healthcare facilities. We also not die while looking for job opportunities. I hope that they can listen to the plight of the youth, and I hope that they can put things together. I hope that they will talk to them really, because this is a cry for all, and I hope that at the end of the day, the government of Morocco will pay attention. But if not, to stop the Nations Cup, will they come there?
Anyways, that's the youths in Morocco have told the government, hey,
this season,
and what a night where you lose and then your players get injured. KTK and Alisson Becker.
I feel now he will understand what it means to manage a big side like Liverpool, because when you win the league, onus is on you, Tony, to replicate that the following season.
So would you say Liverpool should have brought in a central defender? Because if you look at,
I've sang it
they're actually lacking in that position. No wonder the McGuire just made headlines all through. I think they would have had enough.
Tony, I have sang it like hymns right here on this station. I have repeated it times without number. The Liverpool pairing of Konate and Virgil van Dijk, to me, cannot last the whole of the season. I feel they needed another. For the lack of wasting resources, just one more central defender would do.
But why did they just focus only on McGuire?
Well, Tony, because first and foremost, McGuire has been an integral part of Crystal Palace. He's a 3 lion. He's played in the Premier League. He's comfortable on the ball. He knows how to read the game as well. He might not be the best tactically. Awareness, he's there. And I think he will be able to combine well with either of Konate or Virgil van Dijk. Even if you want to use a 3-man defense, he can play from the right side of defense. He gives you that opportunity, that stretch, in your defense. I feel that was who they really needed. But if they had brought in any other central defender, it would have meant so much, really, to the Liverpool fans. But let's even leave, the back line for now. Tony, the money spent on Alexander Isak and
Ekiti,
Ekitike,
Florian Wirtz, Frimpong,
Frimpong, kept 11 players and keep.
14.
But it's an onslaught. This is now his mentality. This is the team, he's building. And, well, it's looking like it's now back-to-back losses for them. From the Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park loss, now to losing to Galatasaray in Turkey. Maybe he's going to review that team and say, where have I got it wrong? Because attention has switched to Liverpool. Whether he likes it or it's a natural phenomenon. Because, of course, you're Premier League winners. So it's going to be natural for people to say, oh, how did you do here? How well did you do here? Where did you get it wrong? There's going to be loads of criticism on Liverpool this season, whether he likes it or not. But then, small, they don't open belly. Let's see what exactly they throw. Let's see how he's able to, revive this team. Let's see what the mentality of the boys is going to look like. Because at every turn this season, it's looked like they've gotten a win or a point at the final minute. But in the last 2 games, it hasn't happened. Let's see where they pick themselves off from here. And I can't wait. But then kudos to Victor Osimhen. That penalty came, not being controversial, but came, I think, in the 16th minute or thereabout, and he was able to slot home. He had opportunities. He was a threat, really, to that Liverpool's defense line.
And should have scored more.
Should have scored more. He was running the channel at every given time. But I mean, just that one goal was good enough, really, for Galatasaray.
And he also set a record. He's taken his goal tally in the Champions League to 10. And he's followed by other Nigerians, Obafemi Martin,
goal.
Ademola Lookman, Kanu Nwankwo, Victor Ikpeba, Yakubu Egbeni, who all had 5 goals in the Champions League. So congratulations to Victor Osimhen.
Okay, and of course